Good morning, everyone, to the Mathematical Literacy webinar for grade 12 learners. I am going to allow a few more minutes opportunity for all the learners to just register and join us in this session. So please be patient while we just wait another minute or so. We will begin shortly. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so my name is Kimberly Brits. I am the educational specialist for mathematical literacy. Now, just some of the basics. If you are struggling to hear me, make sure your audio is on and your speaker volume is turned up. You will automatically be muted when joining the session. Should you have any questions, you can ask your questions in the question box below or on your right, or raise your hand. To raise your hand, click the icon on your dashboard below or on your right. Download this presentation and additional resources in the handout box below or on your right. You will also find all this information in the question box below or on your right. Remember to send us your questions. Attendees are encouraged to ask questions and leave comments. However, irrelevant or inappropriate comments will result in an attendee being dismissed from the session. If we did not get to your question, please send an email to academics@impact.co.za. Questions in the question box will be answered and made available afterwards. If you did not receive the questions and answers, please send an email to info@impact.co.za. Visit the Impact YouTube channel for recordings of this session. Just to inform all of you that our Impact webinar videos is now also available on myimpact.co.za or on the webpage. So you will be able to find recordings of the webinar sessions on the webpage as well as on our YouTube channel. Now, I would like to just say at this point, you will see that we are making use of a new program today. So please just be patient with me as we test this, this new program out. Then for the purpose of giving all of you maximum screen capacity so that you guys can follow along as we work through the paper for today's discussion, I am going to switch my camera off so that you can use the entire space on your screen to view the questions and the calculations. Okay, so most of you should be hearing me still, but not see me. Now, for today's discussion, we are going to cover a DBE paper. The reason why I'm not doing a impact paper from 2019 is that some of the learners that I have already spoken with have already gone through those papers as revision. So I'm using a task work paper that some of you might not have yet done. Now you will see that this paper counts out of 150 marks and the time allocation is 3 hours. So all of you should know that this webinar is only 1 hour long. So I can for certainly say that we are not going to be able to cover the entire paper in today's discussion. Therefore, I want to encourage all of you to go download this paper as well as the memorandum in the handout box so that you can continue to work through this paper even after this webinar is finished. For the Afrikaans learners, ek gaan 'n paar terme en vrae en oplossings sal ek ook in Afrikaans vir julle vertaal. So wees geduldig met my, hier en daar waar dit van toepassing is, sal ek julle in Afrikaans ook akkommodeer. Then for all the learners, download the examination paper and memorandum. So these are all the past papers for that are from Impact. You can download all of them from myimpact.co.za, and you can download today's DBE paper and memo from the handout box. For alternative methods, refer to the memorandum available in the handout section. So please note that some of the calculations that we are doing in today's discussion, or some of the questions, have multiple possible solutions and different ways of obtaining a solution. So please refer to to the memorandum for those alternative solutions. Now, I am going to try and cover as many questions as possible in today's discussion. Therefore, I already included all the solutions to the questions for the reason that we can just cover the work at a quicker pace than me going and or us doing the solutions and the calculations together. So we are going to start off with question 1. Annexure A shows a revolving credit loan taken out from Woolworths Financial Services. Note, a revolving credit plan is a loan where a person can reuse all or part of the money that has been paid back towards the loan without applying for it again. So you will see here to your right is Annexure A. I have included it here. Use Annexure A to answer the questions that follow. Question 1.1.1. Identify the borrower of the revolving credit loan. So die persoon wat die geld gaan leen, identify that person. So if we look on the financial service plan that has been provided, we can see here, Susan Visser. She is the owner of this account. So therefore, the borrower of this revolving credit loan will be Susan Visser. Question 1.1.2. Write down the loan amount available on this statement. So at this point, it is quite simple. This question is similar to a begripstoets, a comprehension test. If you can read a question and if you know how to go search for something out of a document given to you, then you are guaranteed to obtain those marks. So let's have a look here at the description. We're quickly going to read through everything that is listed underneath the description. So it's your debit order payment, monthly account fee, total interest, fees and insurance, opening balance, payment, closing balance, then a loan taken on the 9th of the 10th, 2015, and then 36 months opening balance, interest charge, payments, closing balance. Then all of that is repeated for a loan taken on the 29th of the 4th, 2016. And then once again, all of it is repeated for a loan taken on the 10th of the 10th of 2016. And then right at the bottom, outstanding loan balance and then loan amounts available. Okay, so there we go, loan amount available. And our question asks, write down the loan amount available on this statement. So quite simple, 548 Rand and 30 cents is your answer. Now you guys can see that I'm rushing through this question because in grade 12, this question 1 is considered a level 1 question. If you do not know what I am talking about when I speak about level 1 cognitive level, go have a look at our previous webinar session where I explain the content and the cognitive levels of each paper in detail. Question 1.1.3. Write down the number of statements the borrower will receive in 1 year. So vir die Afrikaans, skryf neer hoeveel van hierdie state die lener sal ontvang in 1 jaar. Now, you will see over here a loan taken on 2015, and then in 2016, and then again October 2016. And then you will also notice that these loans are paid off over 36, 60, or 60 months. That means that she is going to be paying for these loans for more than a year. And she will receive an updated statement at the end of every single month. So that means that she is going to receive 12 statements. 12 starter is what she will receive for this year. Question 1.1.4. Explain the term debit order. Now, there are many different ways. Once again, this is a question where you can use your own words. There's not a set description that we expect from you. So there are many different answers that you can provide for a question like that, as long as you elaborate enough and you give a thorough explanation of what a debit order is, you should be fine to receive your marks. So when a payment is made on a regular basis, the person responsible for the account or payment makes a pre-arrangement with the bank to deduct the money from his or her account. Vir die Afrikaanse kinders, wanneer 'n betaling gereeld gedoen word of gemaak word, sal die persoon verantwoordelik vir die rekening of vir die betaling 'n voorafreëling met sy of haar bank tref om die geld uit sy of haar rekening te betaal. So dit is 'n debit order, 'n debit order. Question 1.1.5. Calculate the number of days from the statement date to the payment due date. Okay, so let's have a look here right at the top of our statement. The statement date is the 14th of January. The statement due date is the 8th of February. So this question asks you to determine how many days are there from the statement date to the payment due date. Now, let's have a look. So if you count from 14th of January to the 8th of February, we will accept either 26 or 25 days. So both of these will be marked correct. Now, the reason for that is the question statement does not tell you whether or not you should include the payment due date. So from the 14th, should it go all the way up until the 7th of Feb, or should it include the final payment due date of the 8th? So once again, the question did not specify, and therefore it is 26 days if it includes the 8th, but it is 25 days if it is going to exclude the 8th. So vir die Afrikaanse kinders, die vraagstelling sê nie of julle die sluitingsdatum, die finale betalingsdatum moet insluit nie. So as jy hom insluit, is dit 26 dae vanaf die 14de. As jy hom nie insluit nie, is dit slegs 25 dae en ons sal beide van daai opsies aanvaar. Question 1.1.6. Calculate the closing balance of the loan taken on the 29th of the 4th, 2016. Okay, so let me just get another color highlighter here. So they want us to refer to the loan over here and determine the value of A. Now we are going to do this by taking, let's see, we are going to say the opening balance at the first of the month. We are going to add the interest that was charged. Remember, this is a loan, so interest is added to the outstanding amount, which is 144 Rand and 4 cents. And then this person made a payment to reduce the loan amount of 221 Rand and 89 cents. So we are supposed to now determine the closing balance, which is at this moment represented by A. So if we have a look at the calculations over here, oh, sorry about that, you will see that the opening balance, adding the interest, and then subtracting the amount that she paid, which gives you a final answer of 6,782 Rand and 14 cents. Okay, I hope that makes sense to all of you. Let's have a look at the next question over here. Question 1.2. The weather forecast for Cape Town for the period 1 to 9th June 2017 is shown below. Study the information above and answer the question that follows. So die weer vir Kaapstad is hier onder aangetoon van die 1ste tot die 9de Junie 2017 en ons gaan van daai inligting gebruik maak om die onderstaande vrae te beantwoord. Question 1.2.1. Identify the maximum temperature for Friday the 2nd of June 2017. Die maximum temperatuur op Vrydag die 2de. So let's have a look at our calendar. Friday the 2nd, and if we look at our key, the maximum temperature is indicated in bold. So therefore, the 26 degrees Celsius is indicated in bold and will therefore be our maximum temperature. Question 1.2.2. Write down the full date on which the lowest minimum temperature was measured. Now, a key word here is full date, guys, volle datum. You cannot simply write the day and the month. You need to include the year as well because that is what a full date consists of. So let's have a look. Die dag op wat die laagste minimum temperatuur was. So let's have a look. Our minimum temperatures, they are not in bold. So if we look, it's 9 degrees on the 1st, then 7, 11, 6 degrees Celsius, 9, 9, 7, 3, and then we're 8. So on the 8th, 3 degrees Celsius will be our lowest minimum temperature. And therefore, your answer is going to be the 8th of June 2017. And you can write it two ways. Both will be marked correct. Question 1.2.3. Arrange the maximum temperatures in descending order. So descending is from big to small, from your largest or your hottest temperature to the coldest temperature. And we are going to be arranging the maximum temperatures. So this is, once again, it's quite straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining question 2.3. As you see, I already did 26, 22, 21, 20, 19, 16, 15, 15, 14. And therefore, you have just arranged your maximum temperatures from the hottest to the coldest temperature. Vraag 1.2.4, question 1.2.4. Determine the date when there was rain and lightning. Now, once again, I would like us to just quickly go back to our key. Just going to erase all of this that I've highlighted up until now. So on our key, you will see that these symbols are given. So this symbol indicates that there is rain and lightning. Now let's have a look at the symbols. We're going to have a look at these. On the 6th, you will see that this symbol is the same as the one in our key. Therefore, on the 6th of June 2017, there will be rain and lightning. Question 1.2.5. Determine the difference, bepaal die verskil, between the maximum and the minimum temperature on Thursday, 8th of June 2017. So, here's the 8th. Bepaal die verskil tussen die minimum en die maximum temperatuur. So we're going to take the maximum temperature of 15, subtract the minimum temperature of 3 degrees Celsius, and that gives us a final answer of 12 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we are still continuing with question 1. Question 1.3. The comparative bar graph shows the national registration statistics of the population of South Africa for both male and female as at 28 April 2018. Then you will see that there's a bar graph that shows the comparison between males and females, the age groups of the national registration statistics. Study the graph above and answer the questions that follow. Question 1.3.1. Write down the age group in which the second highest number of female voters have registered. So wat is die ouderdomsgroep van die vrouens wat die tweede hoogste gestem het of geregistreer het om te stem. So now we are going to be looking at this side, as this side indicates all the information regarding the females. Then we will see the 30 to 39 age group is the highest, and just below that is your 20 to 29 age group over here. Okay, so therefore 20 to 29 is your answer. Question 1.3.2. Calculate the number of male voters under the age of 40. Okay, so now let's have a look. Under the age of 40. So that means we are now going to have a look at this side, as this is where the males are, and we are going to count these three age groups together. We are not going to include the next age group as it is 40 years and older. So now we are going to say 109,224 plus 2,443,115 plus 3,095,538. And if we add those three values together, we have an answer of 5,647,877. So these questions are all considered level 1 questions. They are straightforward and quite simple. And you will see that these questions, the entire question 1, add up to 32 marks. So 32 marks out of 150 is quite a lot, and it is easy marks to obtain towards your total. Question 1.3.3, write down in words the number of female voters in the age 40 to 49 age group. So let's have a look. The number of females in the 40 to 49 age group. So quite simple, write that in words, 2,858,996. In Afrikaans, 2,858,996. We are nearly done with all these level 1 questions, so just stick with me. We are going to get to the rest of the questions shortly. Then question 1.3.4, state whether the data in the graph is discrete or continuous. Now the data in the graph is considered to be discrete due to the fact that the data can be represented in whole numbers. Okay, you cannot divide a human into quarters and halves, therefore discrete value or discrete data. Question 1.3.5, calculate the difference between the total number of male and female voters. So you will see right at the bottom, they give you the total amount of females and the total amount of males that registered to vote. So once again, calculate the difference, bepaal die verskil tussen die hoeveelheid mans en vrouens wat geregistreer het om te stem. So we take the total amount of females is 14,442,779, and from that we subtract 11,797,561, gives you a final answer of 2,645,218. Now finally, guys, we are finished with our level 1 questions. You can see that I tried to rush through them as quickly as possible. Let's continue with question 2. I know that the questions display quite small on the screen, so just listen. I will read everything to you. So try and follow along as I read through the work. Susan intends selling cups of Milo at the local taxi rank for extra money. Milo is a nutritious supplementary drink developed to provide active people with key vitamins and minerals. Annexure B shows the advertisements from her local store where she intends to buy her stock. So once again, let's just get another color highlighter. Here we have Annexure B. Use Annexure B to answer the questions that follow. Question 2.1.1. Determine the unit price when purchasing Milo, option 2. So bepaal die eenheidsprys, die prys vir 1 Milo, as hy opsie 2 gebruik. So extremely important, let's have a look. Here's Milo option 2. Now, she paid 1,140.95 cents for 12 units. So what will she be paying for 1 unit? Therefore, we will take the total amount of 1,140 Rand 95 cents and we are going to divide it by 12, which is going to give you an answer of 95 Rand and then a long decimal. Now, extremely important, guys. your instructions of an exam paper always ask you to round your answers off to the nearest 2 decimal values. Now, this is extremely important, especially when working with finances, since when we work with finances, there's only 2 decimal values after a rand value, if that makes sense. I hope so. So it's even more important to always round your financial questions off to 2 decimal values. So if you divide this, it means that the unit price for 1 Milo is 95 Rand and 8 cents per kilogram. Question 2.1.2. Determine the total cost of 6 liters of milk. Bepaal die totale koste vir 6 liters milk. So once again, let's have a look at our annexure. 1 liter equals 11 Rand and 99 cents. So 11 Rand and 99 cents multiplied by 6, indicating 6 liters, gives you a final answer of 71 Rand and 94 cents. Question 2.1.3. Explain the meaning of the word kosprys of kosprys in Afrikaans. Now you will see that these answers we are continuing here on the right. The cost price of making an item. That is what your cost price is. So your cost price includes all the equipment that you might have needed, the electricity, the water, everything that you might have used to develop or create an item or make an item. Die koste van die maak van 'n item, so dit sluit jou water, jou krag, die aankoop van enige produkte wat jy mag nodig kry om 'n item te maak. Question 2.1.4. Susan decided to exclude the cost of water when calculating the cost price per cup of Milo. Table 1 below shows how Susan calculated the cost price of 1 cup of Milo. So table 1 is then given just below that. Question 2.1.4a. Calculate A, the cost of Milo per cup. Okay, so let's have a look. Over here is A. Now let's see. They give us 1 kilogram of Milo is purchased at 97 Rand and 95 cents, and the amount used for 1 cup is 0.04 kilograms. So let's see cost per cup. We are firstly going to say 97 Rand and 95 cents multiplied by 0.04 kilograms. That gives you an answer of 3 Rand 92 cents. So alternative to that calculation, you can say 97.95 divided by 25. Now this 25 is calculated. Let's just quickly show you that. This 25 is calculated by saying 1 kilogram, which equals to 1,000 grams. And you divide the 1,000, or let's see, the amount used per cup is also given in kilograms. So doing that conversion won't be necessary. So 1 kilogram divided by 0.04 kilogram. And that gives you an answer of 25. Okay, so you can say the cost of ingredients divided by the number of cups that she can derive from 1 kilogram. And that gives you an answer of 3 Rand and 92 cents. Question 2.1.4b. So determine B, the amount of milk in liters used for 1 cup of Milo. Let's have a look. Over here is B. Now, once again, guys, for these questions, there is more than one calculation that we can make use of. So if you are not necessarily sure of how I calculated them in this webinar, have a look at the memorandum, as it does include many alternative methods to get to the answer. So for B, we are going to say the cost per cup of Milo, 1 Rand 20 cents, and we divide the cost of ingredients, which is 11 Rand and 99 cents. If we divide those two values, it gives you an answer of 0.1 liter. So just to give you an idea, alternatively, you could have said 11 Rand and 99 cents. Let's do it here on the side. 11 Rand 99 cents divided by 1 Rand 20. So that gives you the number of cups that she is able to make from 1 liter of milk, which is an answer of 9,9916 repetitive. Okay, so she can make 9,9916 cups from 1 liter of milk. Let's quickly see. If we take this 9,9916 and let's just do that on my calculator quickly. 0.99. Sorry guys, just hold on as I quickly do the calculations here. Okay, so let's quickly have a look. 1199. I'm going to continue and then we'll come back to this question. She just hold on. We'll revert back after we're done with 2.1.5. I'm just sorry. I just don't want to waste too much time standing still on a question. Question 2.1.4C. We first have to then calculate the value for C, which is given to us over here. Now we are going to calculate that by saying the cost of, write down the value of C, the cost of 25 foam cups. So we are going to calculate that by saying the value or the cost of 1 cup, which is R1.78, and we are multiplying that by 25, which gives us an answer of R45.50. Question 2.1.4D, show that the cost of 1 cup of Milo is R7.29. So at this point, we are going to add up all the values given to us here, the cost for 1 cup. If we add these values together, it is going to give us the amount for D. So A, we already calculated here as R3.92. To that, we add R1.20 for milk, 0.13 for sugar, R1.78 for foam cup, and then 0.26 for the spoon, which gives us a total of R7.29. For question 2.1.5, determine the selling price, the verkoopprys, of 1 cup of Milo if Susan's intended profit margin is 25%. So she wishes to make a profit of 25% on each cup that she sells. We determine this amount by saying the profit or the profit, she sells each cup for R7.29, and to this R7.29, we add an additional 25% of the original price, which is R1 and then 8.225. Now we are not yet rounding this off, as we are still going to use it in calculations to follow. So she then adds this 25% as calculated, and she adds it to the cost per cup of Milo, which gives you a final answer of R9.1125. And as I've explained, it is extremely important to round this off to 2 decimal values. So 1125 rounded off to 2 decimal values is R9.11. Now, the purpose for this R9.10 that I have included just after that is they no longer give you R1 or 1 cent and 5 cents as change. So that is they also don't create those cents anymore. Therefore, in reality, you would actually pay R9.10 for that cup. Now, let's have a look here. Question 2.2. Susan started her business 1 month later, and because of the price increase of products, it then cost her R9.50 to make 1 cup of Milo. She calculated that the daily fixed cost was R90, and she would be able to sell 100 cups of Milo per day. She will sell the Milo at R12.50 per cup. Use the information above to answer the questions that follow. Table 2 shows the income from the sale of cups of Milo. So it's quite simple. Question A, determine the value of P in table 2. Over here. Oh, I'm still on pen, sorry. Determine the value of P. Now, 1 cup is sold for R12.50. So how much will 40 cups cost? If she sells 40 cups of Milo, 40 times the selling price of R12.50 gives you a total answer of 500 Rand. Question 2.2.1b. Write down an equation that can be used to calculate the income. So 'n vergelyking of 'n verhouding tussen die inkomste wat sy verdien en die hoeveelheid koppies wat sy verkoop. So the relationship between the number of cups that is sold and the total income that she generates. So the total income can be generated or be calculated by saying the selling price of R12.50 multiplied by the number of cups that she sells. Then question 2.2.1c, identify the independent variable in table 2. So the independent variable for this situation will be the number of cups of Milo, the aantal koppies Milo, because this is the amount that does not change. So for instance, it is not the information that is dependent on. For example, the income in Rand is dependent on the number of cups, because as the number of cups change, the income will also change. Therefore, your number of cups is your independent variable. Question 2.2.2. Susan uses the following formula to determine the cost of the cups of Milo. The cost, they give you here the formula. The cost equals 90 Rand plus R9.50 multiplied by N, where N is the number of cups of Milo. Then table 3 shows the cost price for a number of cups of Milo. Question 2.2.2 then asks us to calculate the value of Q in the table above. So let's have a look over here. They wish us to determine the value of Q. So this is the number of cups of Milo sold for a cost price of R612.50. Now we are going to substitute the information given to us into the formula given here at the start of the question statement. So first of all, the cost price in Rand is the R612.50. The rest of the formula then reads 90 Rand plus R9.50 multiplied by the number of cups. So if we are going to then solve for N, we are going to solve this entire equation almost like an algebra expression, okay, or an algebra equation, sorry. So first of all, we need to get N all by itself, and therefore we are going to take this 90 Rand and subtract it from the R612.50. Sorry, that's not the 90 Rand. There's the 90 Rand. So we're going to subtract this. Then our last step will be to still get N all by itself. And therefore, we are going to take R522.50 and divide it by R9.50. This will mean that N is now all by itself, and the rest of this equation we can solve on our calculator, and it's going to give you an answer of 55. Okay, that means 55 cups of Milo will cost R612.50. And this is the cost price. Therefore, it means to develop or to make 55 cups, it is going to cost the R612.50. Question 2.2.3. The graph on answer sheet 1 shows the total income for making up to 100 cups of Milo. Use the information in table 3 to draw another graph representing the cost from selling up to 100 cups of Milo. So they wish us to use the information in table 3, which is here above, saying what the cost price is to make these cups of Milo. So let's quickly do that together. Once you can see, you should also see that this graph already has a main heading here at the top, and it includes a y-axis and an x-axis heading. So it's extremely important that if your graph does not include those, that you add them. Let's have a look. Okay, so for the number of cups of Milo, for 0, you already have to pay a once-off fee of 90 Rand. So that's more or less there. For 20 cups, it's going to cost you 280 Rand to make 80 or 20 cups. For 30 cups, it is going to cost you 375. So that should be around here. For, let's say Q was 55 cups, which is going to fall more or less in the middle here. 55 cups is going to cost you 600 and let's quickly see. 55 cups is going to cost you 612, so it's going to be more or less there. Then for 80 cups, it is going to cost you 850. So let's say 850, more or less over there. And then for 100 cups, it's going to cost you 1,040 Rand, which is more or less over there. So I apologize. I'm going to try and draw this graph freehand. Okay, so now you should see more or less. Okay, so this is an income and expenses graph. Now for question 2.2.4a, use the table or graph and on the answer sheet to answer the following questions. Explain the meaning of the word break even in the context of the equation. So gelykbreekpunt. Now this is indicated on your graph over here. Okay, so as my graph is not entirely straight and drawn freehand, it's going to be more or less here between 20 and 40 cups sold. So what they refer to, or what they mean by a break even or a gelykbreekpunt, that is where your income and your expenses are exactly the same. So that is the point where you do not make a profit, but you also don't run a loss. So 'n gelykbreekpunt is waar jou inkomstes en jou uitgawes presies dieselfde is en jy glad nie 'n verlies of 'n wins maak nie. Continuing with question 2.2.4b, determine the number of cups of Milo at the break-even point. Now let's have a look. As I said, my graph is not drawn too neatly, so we can have more or less an idea. You can see here where there's 30 cups. That's more or less where the two lines or the two graphs where they cut. So this is more or less then going to be 30 cups. Once again, this is only a plus minus. If you are one or two values out, we will still accept that. Question 2.3. Susan decides to send 1,200 Rand to her sister who is studying in Japan. The exchange rate on that date is 1 yen equals 0 Rand and 10976 cents. 2.3.1. Calculate the amount of money she needs in Japanese yen. So we are going to do that by taking the Rand that she has and then dividing that by the exchange rates. So that's that 0 Rand and decimal value. If you divide those two values, the Rand by the exchange rate, it's going to give you an answer of 10,932 Rand or yen and 94 yen. Sorry. Question 2.3.2. State whether the yen is stronger or weaker than the Rand. So here you could have said it both ways. It is all about your motivation for this question. You could have said that the yen is weaker since 1 yen equals to a decimal value of the Rand. Or you could have said that the Rand is stronger due to 1 yen not even being equal to 1 Rand. So the Rand is a lot more stronger. You can buy a lot of yen with 1 Rand. Okay, let's see how far we can get with question 3 with the remaining time. Question 3.1. The Bambanani creche in Bethlehem bought the cubic blocks below from an auction. They have a side length of 45 centimeters. On two opposite sides of the block is a circular hole in the face of the block. they want to use the blocks as chairs for the children. So they give you the dimensions over here, the length of 45 centimeters and the radius of the hole as 9,5 centimeters. The radius is in Afrikaans die radius. Question 3.1.1. They intend painting the chairs green with Dulux all-purpose paint. Calculate the area in cubic or square centimeters of one of the faces of the block that does not have a circular hole. You may use the following dimension of the following formula. So over here in yellow, you can see they did include a formula. So the area of the square, die oppervlakte van 'n square of van 'n vierkant is die sy maal met die sy. So as this is a square, the length and the breadth is both going to be 45 centimeters. Therefore, 45 centimeters multiplied by 45 centimeters gives you an answer of 2025 square centimeters. Extremely important that you remember to include the unit in which we are measuring. Okay, question 3.1.1b. Show that the total surface area, the area of the faces with circular holes plus the area of the faces without circular holes equals to 11,582,865 square centimeters. You may use the following formula. So once again, they provide you with a formula of the area of a circle. So your first step will be to determine what the area, die oppervlakte van daai circle is, the area of that circle that is cut out. And we are going to make use of the formula provided. So pi times radius to the power of 2, you substitute in the radius, which is 9,5 centimeters, and you type this into your calculator to give you an answer of 283,5655. Once again, the reason why I did not round off is because we are going to use this value in further calculations and we are only going to round off our final answer. Now, in question 3.1.1a, we already did calculate what the area of a square is without a circular hole. So now we take that answer, 2025 square centimeters, we multiply it by 6. Now the reason why we multiply it by 6 is because a cube has 6 faces. So we multiplied that by 6, and then only 2 of the 6 faces has a cut out circular hole. Therefore, we subtract 2 multiplied by the area of the hole, which we just calculated. So that area, that cut out hole, we multiply by 2 because only 2 of the faces has holes. And that gives us a final answer of 11,582,87 square centimeters. Once again, pay attention to the unit. Question 3.1.1. And this is for C. The paint has a spread rate of 1,8 milliliters of paint per 15 square centimeters. Calculate the total amount of paint rounded to the nearest liter needed to paint 12 chairs with 1 coat of paint. So our first step is then going to be, if this is for 12 chairs, we need to calculate what is the total surface area, die totale buiteoppervlakte van 12 stoele. We do that by taking the answer that we calculated in our previous question, as you can see here in our previous question, and we multiplied that by 12 so that it includes the surface area or the buiteoppervlakte for all 12 chairs. This gives us an answer of 138,994,428 square centimeters. Our next step will then be to take that answer and divide it by 15. The reason we divide it by 15 is because there is a spread rate of 1,8 milliliters per 15 square centimeters. So we divide it by 15. And then we multiply it by the spread rate of 1,8 liters. So you will see that, 1,8 milliliters, I apologize. So 1,8 milliliters. Now the question asks you to round your answer off to the nearest liter. So we are going to take our answer, which is over here, and we are going to convert, ons gaan omskakel from milliliters to liters. And that means we need to divide our final answer by 1,000, which rounded off gives you a final answer of 17 liters. So that is the amount of liters that it is going to take to cover 12 chairs with one coat of paint. Question 3.1.2. The paint is sold in 5-liter tins. Each tin has a radius of 7 centimeters and a height of 35 centimeters. And then 5 liters equals to 5,000 cubic centimeters given to you there. Now, question A. Write down the diameter of the tin, die deursnee. Now, at this stage, you should all know that the diameter is twice the radius. Therefore, we are going to say the radius times 2, which gives you a diameter of 14 centimeters. Question 3.1.2. B. Calculate the height of the paint in the tin. So careful reading there. They don't want you to calculate the height of the tin itself because that is already given to you over here as 35 centimeters. They want you to calculate the height of the paint that is inside the tin. And then it continues to say you may use the following formula, which is a volume of a cylinder is pi multiplied by the radius to the power of 2 multiplied by the height, and they give you the value of pi. Now, I forgot to mention with the previous question, do not make use of the pi symbol on your calculator, as that symbol includes many decimal values. So if they give you the value of pi, as in this example of 3,142, use this value because then your answer will be the same as the one in the memo. If you use the symbol, then your answer will not be the same due to all those additional decimal values. Now, first of all, let's copy this formula. We're going to say volume equals pi radius to the power of 2 multiplied by height. Our next step, we are now over here. Our next step will be to then substitute in the information provided to us. So we know that the volume of the entire tin is 5,000 cubic centimeters. We know that the value of pi is 3,142, and we know our radius is 7. The only unknown value that we have here is our height. Now, the purpose of this algebraic equation is to get height all by itself, similar to one of the previous questions that we have done. So to get height alone, we are going to say 5,000 divided by the product of 3,142 multiplied by 7 to the power of 2. This you can now just type into your calculator. It should give you an answer of 32,467 centimeters. Now remember, your final answer should always be rounded off to the nearest 2 decimals. Therefore, it is rounded off to 32,48 centimeters, and that is your height. Okay, I hope you guys are still all listening. I apologize for going through it so quickly. Please still submit your questions as I am going to respond to all of them via email. I will give you feedback on your questions via email. I'm just trying to go through as many questions as possible. We have about 5 minutes left. So I think let's see if we can do the first 2 questions of question 3.2 before ending off today's session. So the waist to hip ratio, or short the abbreviation WHR, is another way of determining the disease risk related to obesity. You may use the following formula. Once again, over here, the waist to hip ratio of the middellyf tot heup verhouding in Afrikaans. The formula is given as the waist measurement divided by the hip measurement. Once the calculation is done, a person's disease risk related to obesity is classified as low, moderate, high, or very high based on their age. Then they give you a table here that identifies the age group and then the classification for each age group. Use the information above to answer the questions that follow. 3.2.1. Determine if a 37-year-old man with a waist to hip ratio of 0.95 has a moderate or a high risk of obesity. So let's have a look. a 37-year-old man, so that means a man which is 37 falling in over here, and has a waist to hip ratio, die verhouding, of 0.95. So you can see that 0.95 is going to be a high risk classification. Question 3.2.2. A 50-year-old man has the following measurements: a waist measurement of 105 centimeters and a hip measurement of 92. Calculate the man's waist to hip ratio. So at this point, you take the information given and you substitute it into your formula. Jy vervang dit in jou formule in. So over here for question 3.2.2, I simply wrote down the formula and I substituted in the information given. So 150 or 105, sorry, the waist measurement divided by the hip measurement of 92 gives you an answer of 1,141. Now we can round that off to an answer of 1,14. All right, so at this stage we have 3 minutes left. I am not going to continue further. It's just going to end up in us rushing through the remaining question or so. So I hope all of you have learned something in today's discussion. I would like to encourage all of you. You will see that question 4, question 5, and then question 4 and 5 is the only 2 remaining. So I would like all of you to just go through those questions. It's on map work and I think data handling, if I'm not mistaken. So please go have a look at those questions, and then remember to leave your questions in the question box so that I can get back to you with feedback via email. Thank you so much for joining into today's session. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.